Hello and welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Ross Sr. And this platform was created to motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast. We really do appreciate it. Listen, we have a very, very special guest with us here on today. We are super excited to have her here. We have the one and only, she calls herself the nurse boss, Miss Tammy Lewis. How are you, Tammy?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Christopher.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for gracing us with your presence here, too, on today.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How was your drive down today?
Uneventful. The traffic wasn't bad, so that was good.
Yeah. That's good. That's so good. You know, quick story. We like to sometimes tell the story about certain things when they happen. And I happened to be going out to rinse my cup out for my tea, everybody. And I happened to ran into Miss Lewis as she was coming in. I was like, oh, you here? It's just a beautiful moment, y'all, okay? You would have to just been here in the moment when that happened. So Miss Lewis is a nurse, a registered nurse. Let me make sure I put some respect on that. You know what I'm saying? How did you get into nursing? Like, where did this love for nursing begin? Let me say that. What was the journey like to becoming a nurse?
Actually, when I was 5, I had 2 grandparents that both had cancer. Well, it was my maternal great-grandmother and my paternal grandmother. Okay. And they both had cancer, and they had hospice coming into the homes.
Wow.
So I saw the way the nurses cared for them and the compassion that they had for them. Yeah. And I was like, I want to do that.
Wow.
So ever since I was 5, I kept saying, I want to be a nurse. Wow. I want to be a nurse. So I never changed. I never deviated from that. So it was like I didn't choose nursing. Nursing chose me. And that's just kind of where the love came from.
I love it. Well, you like, there used to be this cartoon when my kids were little, you used to watch it. I think it was the little black girl who oh man, I hope I can get this story right. Hold on. What was the name of that? Oh, she was a doctor. She was a baby, but she imitated being a doctor, and she had her little dolls up, and she would talk to the doctors, and doing that animation, those different toys, the dinosaurs, the robot, they came to life.
Oh, wow.
And she would go and heal all of the toys.
I've not seen that one.
It is it is an amazing cartoon. And so what I wanted to ask you, what I was alluding to was, were you like that?
I was never like that.
Okay.
I was never like that. I just knew what I wanted to do.
You just knew what you wanted to do. And your parents helped you cultivate that?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay.
No.
I was looking for this amazing story, right?
Actually, my dad, he was a business owner. Okay. Always. You know, he was always business.
Okay.
But he moved to Las Vegas back in the late 70s, early 80s. And he was a State Farm agent, so he was always, you know.
Like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
Exactly. And my mom, she just, it was just like, go to school, go to college, get a good job. Yeah. They didn't care what it was.
Just go in that order.
In that order.
Right.
But it wasn't like I was pushed to do it. Okay. As a matter of fact, other than my father, I was actually the first person.
Really?
Yeah. To go. Well, actually, on my mother's side, I was the first person to go to college.
Wow, that's awesome.
I know, because and I just thought about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. What was high school like for you?
High school was, I was bullied.
Okay.
I was bullied in high school. It was not a very pleasant experience.
Sure.
And
No, really. You know, the premise of the show is to help people become better. And the only way that people can become better is to hear the stories of others. Yeah. But also those adverse moments, they make us who we are today. Yeah. So to look at the journey, okay, go ahead. Tell me the butt in that, Tammy.
The girl kept bullying me. I finally fought her back and I won. And then I was bully turned bully.
I know what happened, didn't it? So you left high school and you find yourself going to college. And what college did you attend, Tammy?
Actually, it didn't happen in that order.
Okay.
It didn't happen in that order. After high school, I didn't go to college right away. I was mom, wife, then school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I got you.
But I went to school in Nashville, Tennessee. I got my LPN first.
Come on now.
Yeah, I took a fast track program. I was like, what was I thinking?
Wow, was it tough?
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
There were days that I didn't sleep at all. Yeah,
okay.
it's very intense.
Okay.
You know, the nursing program itself is intense, but when you do fast track, it's really intense, especially when you have little children.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It ain't a game.
So I went to school in Nashville, and once I moved
Great town.
Nashville is awesome. And it's
I was stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Oh,
so I was like in between Fort Campbell and Clarksville, Tennessee. So Nashville's just down the road.
Have you been to Nashville lately?
I haven't been lately, but it is yes, it has. I know.
So much.
I know.
You would
it's
not
crazy.
recognize it.
I know.
No.
I went through there not too long ago. A couple of years ago, I went through there and I was like, "This looks."
I know
like,
it looks totally different, doesn't it?
Yes, beautiful town. Beautiful town. But go ahead.
Once I moved here, I went to Johnston Community and got my associates, and then transferred to UNCG.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
So that's where I graduated
I got
from.
you.
And I was actually in school for a nurse practitioner, and my husband got sick. I went for a nurse practitioner back in 2020, and my husband got sick. Actually, he got sick during my first semester. So
I think I read that.
Semester,
I did read that.
After the first semester, I had to drop.
Okay,
and
that's right.
I just didn't go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did read that. Towards the end of the bio. That's right. Okay. So what was it like fighting through that then? What was that like, dealing with the grief?
I'm still dealing with the grief because it's only been a year. He just passed away last year. He was diagnosed in February of 2020.
Yeah.
And when we found it, I mean, it was just unexpected. We didn't know. He had a seizure. We took him to the hospital. They couldn't find anything. You know, they tried to discharge him. I kept asking for all these extra tests because I'm like, he had a seizure. And they were like, well, we didn't see it, so we can't call it that. And I'm like, I'm a nurse. You know, I know what a seizure looks like. They still wouldn't do it. And I was just like, look, I'm not leaving this place without a neuro consult. So they gave me that. And when we left, you know, he started having another seizure, but he was awake. So it was one that I wasn't familiar with. And he kind of talked me through it because I was like, okay, tell me what's going on. So he told me, and I said, I think it's some type of seizure, but I've never seen this. So we took him to a different hospital. And when we got there and I told them what happened, they said those are called focal seizures. So they immediately did the CAT scan and they found fluid on his brain. And then they went and did the MRI. And when they came back, they found 2 tumors. So when they did the biopsy, the doctor came in and he was like, he has level 4 glioblastoma. And you immediately just hang your head because as a nurse, sometimes I think we know too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what are you saying? And he said he maybe has a year. And I just prayed. I was like, God, please just give us more time. Because for them, it was months.
Yeah.
You know, I prayed for more time.
Sure.
And I'm like, listen, you did it for Hezekiah. I know you won't do it for one and would not do it for the other. He gave us 2 years and a month, and that was really unheard of.
Yeah.
So he passed away March 20th of last year.
Wow, Tammy.
Yeah, so I'm getting a little emotional, but
No.
Get through this.
I understand.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I tell you, since then, I didn't know a lot about glioblastoma, so I had to educate myself on that. But in going through that process, that thing is expensive.
Yeah.
There was a time where we had a gap in insurance because his job, you know, had to let him go, and we had to switch over to Cobra.
Okay, yeah.
And in that waiting period, we still had to do the treatments every 2 weeks. It was anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000.
Wow, that's insane.
Yes.
Can you tell the folks what that disease is, what it attacks? Like, what is it? You might have already said it, though.
Glioblastoma is a brain cancer. Yeah, a very aggressive brain cancer. Yeah. And, I mean...
I got you.
Yeah.
I understand.
If anybody is diagnosed with glioblastoma, 1 to 3 years. That's it.
That's all they get.
And if they live to 3 years or past, it's probably because they were a candidate for surgery.
Sure.
And they were able to have the surgery. But the thing about the surgery is it still grows back. It still grows back. And it comes back with a vengeance. It is just really, it's one of the most aggressive cancers that there is. Yes.
How often do people pass away from that? Like
every time.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, that's what Beau Biden had. That's what Kennedy had.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those, they can't figure it out. The brain is so complex that they can't even figure that one out. They don't know what to do with it.
And I know a lot of times they probably don't even want to.
They're just buying time. Really, you're buying time. When you have the surgeries, when you do the chemos, the radiation, you're buying time. It's really more for you than anything.
Wow.
And I remember asking, I was like, what happens if people can't afford this? And she's like, they die, because they can't get their treatment, so it spreads that much faster. And I remember when they stopped my husband's treatments because they stopped working, it was almost instant. It was just like it progressed so fast. He started falling. He lost the ability to use his left side. Then he started forgetting, and then he stopped talking.
Sure.
He was incontinent. He was total care. He couldn't do anything for himself.
Okay.
I literally had to do everything for him.
Understood.
So it's just...
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, it's just one of those diseases that they...
Yeah, it's not much you can do anything about. There's nothing.
Yeah. Just buy time. It's just treatments to buy time.
Well, I want to say sorry for your loss.
Well, thank you.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
You definitely have a great deal of faith.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for my faith, I would not be sitting here today talking to you.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you shared that. I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that short of a time period, though. But I thank you for being strong enough and bold enough to share that, because, it possibly will help somebody else to keep fighting.
Yeah.
Even in spite of the grief that you feel.
Sure.
I'm sure you have some ups and downs, days
absolutely.
and nights.
Every day is different.
Every day is different.
Every day is different. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I did in honor of my husband was I started a nonprofit.
Yes, you did.
It's called the Tammy Lewis Foundation for Brain Tumors.
Yes.
And basically what it is to educate people on the disease process.
Yes.
To help them find communities, resources.
Yes.
But also to be a resource for them, to help them with their medications, their treatments, transportation, food,
all of that,
caregivers, because it's extremely expensive.
Absolutely.
And it takes a village. Seriously, it takes a whole community, because it's a lot. And a lot of people experience caregiver burnout. Fortunately, with me being a nurse and having the background that I had, I was able to keep my husband at home the whole time.
Sure.
I was there with him when he passed away. So
Yeah, you're a tough lady, Miss Lewis. You're a tough lady.
I receive it.
Yes, you are tough. You are tough. And my hat's off to you, really. Really. These stories right here, you get to find out at its very core who the individual is behind the brand that they're pushing. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of times people think that this is easy. But it's not easy.
It's not.
Because life happens.
It does.
And the business has to keep going.
It has to keep going.
But life can happen. Mm-hmm. And you found a way to strategically make this work.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, we were talking a little bit, and I made a statement, and I said, well, 30 years. And you was like, no, 30 years between being a registered nurse and entrepreneurship. So let's talk about some of your entrepreneurship and some of the things that you have going on.
Okay.
That you have going on presently, things that people may not even know that you do. But I'm sure they do. But let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, one of the things that I've done is I started a home care agency in 2005.
Yeah.
And that kind of stemmed from being a caregiver in Tennessee. And I used to work for a registry taking care of elderly.
Sure.
So I wanted to do that. And I kept saying, I'm going to do that one day. I'm going to do that. But I didn't know how to do it.
Is that called geriatrics?
It is geriatric.
That boy bad.
Good job.
Boy bad. Okay, go ahead, Miss Lewis.
Yeah, so I started the agency in 2005. I was able to grow it.
I love it.
And I started at my dining room table. I was interviewing people in my house. Anybody that's listening today, do not do that. Do not bring the workers to your home. Ooh. They will show up at your house in the middle of the night looking for a paycheck. Don't do it. Ooh. And you don't want them mad at you.
No, that too.
And knowing where you live.
Yeah, that too.
So, I started it in 2005.
Sure.
I had not planned to start it that soon, but I was working in nursing facilities and witnessing patient abuse. And nothing was really being done about it, even when I reported it. And I think the last incident that I had, I reported there was a caregiver that she hit the resident and she blacked her eye. I reported it to the director of nursing, and she called the caregiver to the office. She went down, she came out, and she went back to work. And she looked at me and she was like, I was here before you, I'll be here after you. So that made me go back to the director of nursing and like, hey, what's going on? And she said, I would rather counsel them to have to hire new people. So I reported it to the state, and I left that day. And she was like, you'll be back. So I left that day. I did go back, but when I went back, it was because I had my home care agency, and I was getting clients out of that facility.
Smart move. Yeah, you was playing chess, not checkers.
Exactly.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So
very smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the agency from 2005 until 2015, and it was crazy because I grew it, and it was like one day this lady called and she's like, Steve Forbes wants to meet with you. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, we're having this event, and we want you to come out to New York. Yeah. So I went out to New York, and I was interviewed, and I look, and they sent me this magazine. I'm like, I'm in Forbes magazine. Like, look, Mom, I made it. So
exactly. That part.
So I went out. So it was like a pleasure to meet, their team, and then they had like a healthcare summit.
Sure.
So, of course, they just kind of want to get your input. So, I mean, it's
beautiful.
Very humbling experience.
Absolutely.
So at that point, my agency, it was like the value of it tripled. Yeah. And people were calling, wanting to buy my agency. And I'm like, no, I'm not selling. No, I'm not selling. No, it's not for sale. And someone just asked me if they could just fax me over a number. You can fax whatever you want to, but my agency is not for sale. So they faxed it over. Did you get it? Well, hold on. Let me go get the paper. Sweetheart, we're about to retire. I sold the agency.
Oh, yes, sir. Did you turn to Frankie Beverly on?
I sold the agency.
Oh, I love it.
And, I was happy to sell it at that time, I thought.
Yes. But
about 2 weeks went by after I sold it, and I was like, oh, my God, what am I supposed to do with myself? Home care is 24/7 because you're taking care of people day and night.
Yes.
So the phones are always ringing. The caregivers are always calling. Somebody's calling out. There's always something going on. And then there's like this 2 week span, and there's nothing. And I was going stir crazy.
Yeah.
So people started calling me, asking me, to help them start their agencies. I'm like, oh, cool. So I started doing home care consulting, but then people started asking about other things that I knew nothing about. And that was kind of how the Nurse Boss Summit was born. Because I'm like, no, I can't do this, but I have some super friends who can. So God kind of gave me the vision for the Nurse Boss Summit. And I just brought all the nurses into one place, the nurse entrepreneurs, and then they're able to do the breakout sessions and teach people what they do. And the first summit was in Raleigh in 2020, and we had, I planned for 200 attendees, and everybody kept saying, this is your first summit. You're never going to get 200 attendees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I thought that's what I heard. And, the ticket sales were slow. And, I called a friend of mine who had an agency, and he's like, you're never going to do this, because I wanted him to sponsor. You'll never be able to pull this off. We tried it. We couldn't do it. We only had 75 people to show up. He said, you're going to tick people off telling them that you're going to have 200 people, and nobody's ever going to want to work with you again. So I'm like, God, I thought, did I get it wrong? And I almost gave up, but I'm like, nope. This is what was given to me. I'm shooting for 200. I marketed for 200, and we sold out. We sold out at that event. We had people that wanted to start businesses that have started their businesses.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's okay. I'm telling you, God, all God.
Oh, I know it.
We had people to come in growing their businesses. So many people were blessed by that summit. The thing about that summit was my husband got sick the week of the summit. The day before the event was when he got his diagnosis. So I wasn't able to go to the event that Friday. Saturday, he pushed me to go. He said, just go and tell the people why you didn't show up. So I went at lunchtime for about 45 minutes to let them know, meet some people, shake some hands, give some hugs. And then I had to go back to the hospital, but it ran without me. If you didn't know me, you didn't miss me. But so I was really pleased, and
I'm gonna tell you something. That was such a powerful moment right there for me as well. So that was just powerful. I want you to know that, and to know the backstory behind that. It impacts you even the more so to show that with faith and trusting God and the process and the vision that you have, that anything is possible. So to see this full journey come around for you, and to know that all it took was one person, and God opened the door for you. And you walked right on in, Tam. You was already prepared for it. So how important was preparation for you for this journey? Because now, here you are now. I'm laughing. I'm sitting here like, wow. But what was preparation like for you?
For
entrepreneurship. Let's just say, what was that like for you? Or was you just thrown, just like thrusting in? Just jumped in.
I just jumped in, not knowing what I was doing. I'm serious. It was like I read a few books, I tried to. One of the things that I did was I went to work for agencies, and then I started asking them questions. And, I let them know up front, this is what I want to do. But nobody would tell me anything because they looked at me as being a competitor.
Of course.
So they didn't tell me anything.
Of course.
So it was like, I'm just going to do it. Now, I will say, you might want to get you a mentor. Or an attorney, a CPA or something, because I'm going to tell you what happened. I started this business. Year 3. I had the unemployment office calling me, and they're like, we're calling about this person because they filed for unemployment. And I was like, she can't get unemployment because she's an independent contractor. So then they start going down these list of questions. Does she have a set schedule? Does she have to be supervised? And every question he asked, the answer was yes. He said, she's an employee. All of your people are employees. And that triggered an audit for them. Then I had to convert everybody over to employees, W-2 employees from 1099s. Then that triggered an audit from the state and federal. So I was in the red. I was upside down over $300,000. I had to go back and fix everything. It was like starting over. So I don't advise anybody to do it themselves. Take the classes that you need. Get the professionals that you need. Don't try to do it yourself. Because you think you can't afford it. You can't afford not to have these people. Because the IRS, when they show up like the police. I mean, they are flipping out badges and everything. They're like, hey, how you want to pay for this today? Check or credit card?
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Thank you for dropping some game on us, though.
Yeah.
For all of us that are listening out there, for all entrepreneurs, I hope you guys heard what she said. That's pretty serious.
It is. And one of the things that I did, I woke up one morning, and it was Saturday. I remember my husband and I we were lying in bed talking. He was like, "What do you want to do today?" I said, "I think I want to write a book." He said, "You want to write a book?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to write a book today."
Yeah.
I went downstairs. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I started making an outline of everything that I want to put in this book. It's on how to start a home care agency. I'm making this outline. Man, I'm down there I get up, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, grab a snack, and I come back and I'm still working. And I'm just typing in the computer because, when you're making an outline, other stuff comes to your mind.
Right.
So you're like, yeah.
I need to do this. I need to do this. Yes, yeah.
I look up and it's 1:30 in the morning and I've written a 148-page book in one day.
Now, you had a divine moment there. You had a really divine moment.
In one day.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I put it on Amazon, had the graphics do. The book cover and everything, uploaded to Amazon. It was international bestseller in 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours. And that was in 2016. And that book I still get royalties from that book every month. If you are an entrepreneur and you do not have a book, you are leaving money on the table. Yes. Okay. Write the book. And I told everything. I'm like, step by step, and everything you want to know about a home care agency and how to start it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, just out here looking for answers, people don't like talking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're an amazing individual, Tammy. You are an amazing individual, and it's very clear to me, and I hope the audience gets it too, that you listen to God. And you just did it. You had a moment like Peter on the boat when Jesus was saying, "Come on, jump on out here, bruh, in the deep. Come on, man. You got it. Don't focus on nothing. Look at me.
Hey,
come on."
That part right there.
And you did. Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to know that unction that you got, that was God nudging you, saying, "Write that book."
Yeah.
And you obeyed and you went and did it.
And it pays off.
And it paid off for you. Pays off. Yes.
But, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's easy to look to the right or to the left.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to just...
No.
Please keep my mind stayed on you because,
No, definitely. We don't want people to think that it's perfect. That's something that we don't want people to think. But the consistency and the discipline that you had to kind of say, I got to focus on this. Not saying that the left and the right, that didn't come at you. Sure it does. We human.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you found a way to be disciplined enough and had enough strength to press forward irregardless.
Exactly.
No matter what.
Exactly.
And you did that. And look at you now. You're getting ready for this nursing summit, right?
Oh, yeah.
2023.
Yes, Nurse Boss Summit 2023.
I love it.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah. Come on out.
So it's actually next weekend.
Yes, it is.
July 28th and 29th.
Yes, it is.
We have some amazing guests. We have Amy Loughlin from Netflix series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She has a documentary on Netflix for nurses called The Good Nurse.
Yes.
And her story is phenomenal. She was actually working with a serial killer.
Wow.
In New Jersey. They worked the night shift in ICU together.
Yeah.
He was going through and putting insulin and
I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
You saw that movie?
That was crazy.
Yes, it was very crazy. So she's going to be there, and she's going to be talking about what it was like to work with a serial killer.
Wow.
And how they were friends. She befriended this man not knowing that he was killing off the patients.
You know what? I remember seeing that.
Wild.
Yeah, that was wild.
I was like, oh, my goodness, yeah.
Because I remember looking at it, and I saw at the end, I was like, that was a true story. I knew it was crazy.
Listen, and in the documentary, she asked him, she was like, why did you do it? Why did you continue to do that?
Yeah.
And he said, because they didn't stop me.
Yeah. That
Really?
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, I can't believe it. And you know what else got me? He went to another hospital.
The hospitals were
crazy.
Listen, these hospitals were discharging him. They offered him the chance to resign and gave him a good reference to get rid of him.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that they wouldn't have to deal with the backlash.
I saw that.
Of the families.
I saw that. They didn't want to get sued.
They didn't want to get, but I bet, listen.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wonder what those pockets are looking like now because the story is out.
Yeah, it's out.
It is out. The truth is out.
The truth is out.
So, yeah. So
amazing
I'm
individual.
I know.
That's beautiful that you're having someone like that on your panel that's going to be speaking.
So I'm going to have her there. Lamont Rucker is going to be there. Sheriff Troy.
Yeah.
Why did I get married?
All the ladies going to be screaming.
So Lamont is going to be there on our mental health panel.
Okay.
And then we have Cheryl Pelote Williamson. She's an amazing coach. That's actually my business coach.
Wow.
She is amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then we have, nonetheless, Adrian Gammy Norris.
Yes.
That's Jada Pinkett's mom,
Jada
for those
Pinkett
that
mama.
don't know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from Red Table Talk. But Gammy is amazing. A lot of people don't know that Gammy was a nurse.
Wow,
yes.
I didn't know that.
Gammy was a nurse.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I think I read an article in a magazine, because Jada used to do a sitcom called Hawthorne, and she was a nurse in there.
Hawthorne.
And when I read about it, I thought it was saying that it was centered around the life of her mom.
Wow.
So that was when I first found out that her mom was a nurse. And I'm like, oh, really? So I went looking. I'm like, I need to.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
Gammy was a nurse.
You know
Once a nurse, always a nurse.
Yes. And you know what, Tammy, God is taking your gift before kings and queens. Oof. And he's blessed you in such a way. And you didn't give up. You just didn't give up.
No, he
you were adamant.
To bless me.
Yeah. You were adamant. You were very persistent, consistent, and knew what you wanted to do at 5.
At 5.
And look at what it has done for you. You're doing. So is this your second year doing the summit?
This is the second year, because 2 weeks after the first one was the shutdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's crazy because we were supposed to have it in March.
Gotcha.
But the venue fell through. So I had to move venues, and that was the only date that they had. So that was a God thing.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
Another God thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Tammy, this is such a great conversation that we're having with you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Are you? Okay, good. This is good stuff. You are, again, you've written books. They've been at the top of the charts with the books. You're still receiving royalties. Forbes. What?
Yes. Look, I'm hoping to see that again. I
believe you will. I believe you will. I think it's just the beginning. Yeah.
Well, one of the other things I'm working on right now is a documentary centered around nurse entrepreneurship and nurse leadership.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to be filming at the Nurse Boss Summit as well.
Are you really? Oh, man, cool.
And after that, we're going to start working on, not related to nursing, but I'm shooting a film. We're working on the script now. It's going to be centered around my husband's life. So I'm actually going to be sharing our story.
Oh, man, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
So I'm excited.
You should be.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be, Tammy. I'm excited for you, too. I think once folks hear this amazing story of yours. Now, aren't you glad you came?
I'm glad I came.
Now, aren't you glad you came?
Yes. I sang all the way down here, too.
I absolutely love it. You think you'll write another book?
Oh, I'm working on another book now.
Okay.
It's called God Chose Us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good title.
Yeah.
Good title. Very, very good title. Very, very good title. Yeah. This is good stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you.
So what else you got going on with the summit? What else is going to be happening at the summit? I mean, this was an easy interview because once we opened up, I just let you just freely go. And you did a great job. You did a great job, Tammy.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Yes.
So talk about some of the other events that'll be happening at the summit as well.
At the summit, so there are going to be multiple breakouts. We're going to have keynotes there.
Yeah.
This year, I actually have a self-care suite.
I love it.
For the nurses, so they could go in and get massages, We're going to have satin hand treatments. Okay. We're going to have a makeup artist there.
All right.
We're going to have someone doing lashes.
Yes.
And we're doing complimentary headshots. So we'll have photographers there.
Okay.
And Friday night, we're actually having an awards gala. It's a fundraiser for
really?
the nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
So we're doing a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And, there'll be awards for the nurses.
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to miss that.
You don't have to miss it. You
I'm going to be busy, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I already have something committed on those 2 days that I'm committed to on those 2 days. But when you have it again, I definitely, that's good stuff.
I got your invite for next time.
Right on. Say no more. This has just been wonderful. How can the people go and register if they want to?
If they want to register for the summit, they can just go on the website. It's nursebosssummit.com.
Yeah.
And they can get tickets there.
Okay.
And if they want to follow me on any of my platforms, it is I am Tammy Lewis on all platforms.
Okay. Sweet. And so you guys are taking sponsorships as well? You guys take sponsorships? We
are taking sponsorships.
Okay. How can the folks do that the same way?
They can actually, if they
go on the website?
Yes, they can go. The sponsorship information is on the Nurse Boss Summit website. So, again, it's nursebosssummit.com.
All right. I absolutely love it. Tammy, in closing, if you could say something to somebody that can help them fight through adversity, through hardships, through whatever it is, the adversities that we have in life sometime, and knowing your journey and your experience of fighting through and still going through some things emotionally and spiritually to fight through, to keep going, what would you say to them to encourage them? If you could take some time and say that to them.
Super simple. Keep your mind stayed on God. Always keep God first. Yeah. And one of the things I've had to learn, through everything, through losing my husband, through being in entrepreneurship, through going through nursing school, wanting to follow my dreams and following them. Don't listen to unqualified voices.
I was trying not to laugh. That was supposed to be a serious moment, but God almighty, you said a mouthful. Right. What'd you say, Jamal? He say that'll preach. Amen on that, brother. Hey, yes, Tammy, very, very well said. I'm gonna say it to you again, Tammy. Thank you so much for gracing us with.
Welcome.
Yes, this was truly, truly an honor to have you here on the platform.
It was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was fun.
We pride ourselves on bringing Black excellence to this platform to show a different side of us and show that, hey, we can do it all, baby.
Yes.
We can do it all. Black is really beautiful, and there's excellence, and there's a lot of hard work that goes behind this excellence. So thank you so much, Tammy.
And thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So listen, this is the Ross Clown Podcast. I'm Carl Ross Sr. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.